What's up, gamers? After my unboxing of the Nacon MG-X Pro Controller, I've spent the last month testing it out, and I'm back with 3 things I love and 3 things I wish were different about this mobile phone controller. Let's get into it. For this review, I'm going to alternate between the things that I love and the things that I dislike. Things I love, number 1, the joysticks. The joysticks, full stop, they are perfect. My thumbs don't slip off, they're full size, they feel buttery smooth, they click in really nice. I prefer asymmetric sticks, so I love their placement on here. Playing FPS games felt precise. Really, every game type I played felt natural and responsive. I have 0 complaints about the joysticks, and they honestly made my game time more fun. Things I dislike, number 1, there's no headphone jack. No headphone jack on here. The number 1 benefit of a mobile controller is mobility. And when you're playing out in public, on the train or the bus or wherever, headphones are almost a necessity for 2 reasons. 1 is so you don't have to disturb the people around you by turning your volume all the way up. And 2, public environments may be too loud to hear the game, and a lot of games use audio as a gameplay element, not only to immerse you into the game, but often for auditory cues for an action. So I really wish they had included a headphone jack like the Xbox and PlayStation controllers do for those who want to improve their gaming experience with better audio. The second thing I love are the buttons. I love how big the buttons are. I mean, these are just massive. They really utilize the real estate here. The triggers are really large and comfortable too. The travel on both the buttons and the triggers is really nice as well. One extra thing I really appreciate is how big the letters are printed on here. For those with visual impairments, whether it's colorblindness or otherwise, this large white print on black is a great contrast and easy to read, and I love that. I also like the D-pad. I wasn't sure when I first opened the box, but they turned out to be fine, and they have a very light click, which I generally don't like. But because it's so light, it didn't bother me. In fact, I wondered if that was also an accessibility feature to make the D-pad slightly more tactile. Precision platformers like Dead Cells and Shovel Knight Dig controlled really well, so I loved all the buttons. The second thing I dislike, the buttons. Not how they feel or look, that part is great, but how loud they are is not so great. Listen to this. Compared to the Xbox trigger, it's actually unbelievable to me how loud these buttons are. They clickety-clack like Mrs. Kabobbles Caboose. And I find that borderline annoying. I mean, you hear that? Clickety-clack. If you're hoping to game and not disturb the people around you, forget about it. The triggers are especially loud. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard a controller this loud in my 30+ years of gaming. And that paired with no headphone jack is just not a great combination for discretion. I want to pause for just a moment and say that this is available for both iOS and Android. I have an affiliate link in the description below, and if you think this is a good fit for you, I appreciate you using that link as it helps support the channel at no cost to you. Back to the review. Things I love, number 3, the connectivity options. This controller is designed for a mobile phone, and those come in all shapes and sizes. This accommodates all of them. Big or small, case or no case, whatever phone you use probably fits in here. A lot of these mobile controllers aren't one size fits all, especially with a phone case still on. So that's definitely one of the pros of this controller. But that's not all. Since this connects over Bluetooth, it also works on other devices, in my case, an iPad. And again, the more I think about this design, the more I think Nacon really had accessibility in mind when they designed this controller. Playing on an iPad obviously comes with greater visibility. For me, I like the options that this opens up. With Apple Arcade or Xbox Cloud Gaming, I can play on my phone for a while and then pick up where I left off on my iPad, all with the same controller. And that's pretty great. On top of that, you can also use this with Apple TV or a computer. Of course, it might look a little odd without a phone in the middle, but that doesn't bother me. I'm too busy being glad that it works. The last thing I dislike is that while you're playing this, there's no way to charge your phone. This point isn't really a problem for iPad gaming, but when you're playing with a phone in the device, it covers the charging port. Of course, you can take the phone out and lay it on a table and charge it while you play, so there is a workaround, but that defeats the purpose and puts that smaller screen that much further from your eyes. Some of these mobile games have really good graphics, but the better the graphics, the faster the battery drain. Everything comes at a cost, and one of the sacrifices that had to be made for more connectivity options, like multiple devices and keeping your case on your phone, was the loss of a physical port connection, which in turn causes the loss of pass-through charging. A couple of extra honorable mentions of things that I do like about the controller. It's very ergonomic. It was super comfortable to hold for long gaming sessions, which is a huge plus. And in my unboxing video, I mentioned that the spring felt a little weak, but that ended up not being an issue. After using it, I think it has plenty of force to keep your phone in place while you play, as long as you're not planning to sling it across the room in a Hulk rage. And those are some of the pros and cons of the Nacon MG-X Pro Controller. Let me know your thoughts and questions in the comments. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Stay kind and encouraging out there, and as always, I'll catch you on the flippity flip.